Hi everyone, Matt Smith here, just starting on the second video on family search indexing. And if you haven't seen my first video, I'd highly recommend you go and see that first because I'm going to pick up right where that one left off. It is on YouTube and it's titled How to Use Family Search Indexing Introduction Video 1. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and see it. It'll give you the introduction and basics and get you up to speed at where we're starting in this video. Where I left off in that video was how to adjust this little highlight box. It's the little blue highlight box there. I won't go into it again, but if you need to, you can adjust it by using the Adjust Highlights option in the View tab of the toolbar. So let's get right into this. After that's adjusted, then you can start indexing, or at least it's easier. You don't have to adjust it, but I like to because it's a lot easier to index with that little highlight right where you need it. So the very first place that I want to start explaining in this video is just these columns in this table entry box. This is where you're going to be doing all your data entry. All of these columns correspond to one of these columns up here, and you just have to keep an eye on which column you're on. That's where this little blue highlighter comes in handy. It will actually highlight the exact column that you need to type as you go across. So keep an eye on your field help box. This field help box is wonderful because it answers in very simple terms everything that you need to do over here. So first off, we're going to enter in the line number, and the line number corresponds to with this very left-hand column over here, and it's kind of hard to see, but that number up there is 51. Sometimes if you can't make out the first number, you can come down here a few numbers and make out a number you can, like that's a 60, 57, 55, 53, 51. That was kind of quick, but that's how I do it sometimes. If you can't discern what you're looking at, go further down in the document and find something that you can see that looks similar, and then go back and compare. So we're going to put in 51. I'm going to hit the tab button because down here in these boxes you can just hit tab to navigate. It makes it a lot simpler than coming back down and clicking every time. Now this next column is called family number. This is the number corresponding to each family on the census. And it's found here in column 4 as it says down here in the field help box. This family's number is 76, and you can see I just had to type it in. I didn't even have to click on it because I had hit tab. So now we're to the surname box. That's pretty self-explanatory. The name is found up here in column 5. It goes surname first and then given name. This surname is E-A-D-Y. Now there is a comment I want to make here. You can see on this census record there's a lot of letters that are kind of hard to see, and it's kind of hard to make out sometimes. So if you have a hard time making out what the word says or what the name is, come up here to the help tab on the toolbar, come down here to handwriting help, and it brings up this box that has all the letters of the alphabet plus corresponding possible handwritings of each letter. So you can kind of compare and contrast and make out which letter is which. So I'm going to close that because I don't need it. But I do sometimes go there myself. Also, another simple way to look up something if you just can't make it out. You can make out 1 or 2 letters maybe. Click this little drop down arrow. It'll bring down a menu and you click on lookup, and you can just type in just a portion of the name. So if I could only make out the first 2 letters of this word or the name, you can put in those and then go along, and it will give you all the suggestions that it has in its system for that name. It's pretty handy. Okay, put in this name. Now the given name is obviously the first name. You'll notice that this box turned red or pink. The only reason why it did that is because it doesn't recognize that name in its database. However, it is correct spelling, and at the end it will just ask me to verify it in the quality checker. But you don't have to worry about that until the end. So the surname is the last name in column 5. The given name is the first name in column 5. And that's the order it goes in. Titles of terms are simply just terms like junior or doctor or senior. I don't think I've ever seen this on a document that I've indexed, but it's there just in case. The relationship is in column 6. You can see that right here. This is the relationship of this person to the head of the family. So the head is always going to go at the first of every family. So this person is the first of the family. So we're going to type in head. And the head can be, it's usually the father. Sometimes it can be the mother. In this case, it's the mother. You can see she has a son and a daughter and a sister. And so you'll just have to keep an eye out on that. But that's what the relationship is. Sex is pretty straightforward. It's either male or female, and you have to use either an M or an F. And you can see this blue highlighter is moving across the columns exactly to where I need it. Now, that's the great thing about adjusting your highlights. That's why that part is so important, is because if you've adjusted them correctly, this blue highlighter will always be exactly over where you need it, which will make it a lot easier when you're indexing documents that have 50 names to index on them. So make sure that you adjust those highlights. That way you're always getting correct information. So she's female, obviously, so you just put an F. For race or color, W stands for white, so you actually have to type in white. Sometimes it will autocomplete for you because it recognizes it already. So as I put in the W, let me show you this again. If I just put in W, see how it automatically finishes it for me? If it automatically finishes it for you, you can just hit tab and go to the next column. Age is age at last birthday, and this is in column 13. Her age is 41. Marital status is in column 14. And down here, these are very important instructions. It's either M if they're married, S if they're single, W if they're widowed, or D if they're divorced. And let's look and see if we can see any others. Nope, these are all married or single. If you see a married or single on these census documents, or a married or a divorce is just a D, but a widowed is usually written WD. So just keep an eye out for that. So we're just going to put an M because you don't have to write out married, just an M. The birthplace is the birthplace of the person that you're indexing. It's in column 18. This is New Jersey. You can see how the blue highlight continued to move over. The father's place of birth, column 19, New Jersey. See how I love this. I love this about this program. It's so smart. It already recognizes New Jersey as an entry because I wrote it over here. And so I don't have to write it again. It automatically completes it for me. Just make sure that you're putting in the right place. Because sometimes if you have like New Jersey and New York and New Hampshire, it will bring up whichever one you typed in last. So make sure that you're typing in the correct one. But after, like I said, after it brings it up automatically, you can just hit tab and go to the next column. Mother's place of birth is in column 20. Important note here on places of birth. If the place of birth has been misspelled, spell it correctly. If it has been abbreviated and you can determine what the abbreviation stands for, type the complete name and then use the lookup assistance if you need it. So we obviously know this is New Jersey, so we're just going to type it in. It automatically finished it for me, so I'm just going to hit tab. Now this last column, which is the last column you're going to do, is in column 22 over here. It's the year of immigration to the United States. You don't ever have to worry about this unless column 18 is a different country. Because if it's a state in the United States, then they didn't immigrate here. They were born here. So occasionally you'll find a year over here on on some documents, not on all, but like on this one, there's no years of immigration, meaning that all these people were born in the United States. But just keep an eye out for that. Okay, so this is the end of video 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably come out with another one, and hope you have a good time.